I've been ready to get down to it.
Oof, yeah. I guess I'm live now too. Which means
Oh,
I
I
should.
need to get your stream going. I always forget to get your
Oh,
stream going.
I forget sometimes too. Don't worry.
Okay, so we're doing webcomics today? Or are
Yep.
you doing webcomics today?
Yeah, I'm working on comic book stuff. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Oh, I could post more somewhere, but I just want to draw stuff right now. Anybody who
I
wants
just
to watch.
automatically posted to Twitter. Will you be on for a little longer today, or?
I'll be on for like an hour.
Because I know you don't have a meeting.
Yeah, I don't have a meeting, but I've got some other work stuff I've got to
Other
do.
stuff.
Yeah.
Responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yay, adulting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I guess the joys of having full time day jobs.
Yeah.
I get to do full time day job things, but at least I feel like I'm kind of starting to get the hang of doing this a bit better at this
Yeah.
point.
I definitely feel like it takes practice. It's something that you're gonna have to keep doing. It's when I first remember when we first got into this, it was like technical difficulties freaking everywhere, and then one of us couldn't stream at all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just mean more like I'm getting more the hang of like doing the actual comic work.
Yeah,
Like
you'll get faster at it
how do I
definitely.
say it? Like when this started, I was I didn't really have I didn't have a good process, I guess, for the comic stuff. Like I had an idea of it, but I'm so used to doing not comic book things that my processes are all for not comic book things, even though I'm like a comic book style artist.
Mhm.
So having to go back now and like figure out, okay, so in very practical terms, like what what of this can I do? What of this can I not do? Like it's taken me like this long to figure out like okay, this is really the process I want to use, um, and like this is the amount of detail I need at this point versus like what I would typically do. So, which I'm not sure how that's going to work out because I think my first few pages are going to look a bit different than my other not first pages.
Are you saying? I feel like you develop a different type of style as you go.
I mean, it's the same
You're finding.
style. Like it's just instead of putting the amount of detail I was putting into it for the first few pages, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
I kind of figured out that I don't have to do that, so I probably shouldn't do that.
Simplifying shortcuts.
Yeah, just
Use every method.
like I had an idea, like, and I felt like it was a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, but
Mhm.
um, just refining that uh, in ways that matter. I'm not really sure how to explain it other than like I just don't want to be wasting time needlessly on stuff, and that's kind of what I felt
Yeah.
like I was doing. And then I looked at the process that somebody else uses, and I was like, you know what? I like that process. I like the idea of that process. I like the execution of that process. I'm gonna roll with that.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, I don't even have to do all this other stuff. Like
Yeah.
I
I
just
feel
don't.
like I'm there right now too with my hey, I finally know what I want to do because I know I went through several reboots in my webcomic, and because I just wanted to, I felt like I wasn't like proud of what I was doing, of course, in the first two, and then it was like, you know what, I established a style I really like. I really like this. I really like this method. I really like, the techniques. It comes easier to me, and then I was able to go through with it.
Which is good. I kind of think that's one of the things that holds a lot of people back is like you have this idea of what you want it to be like, but then you
Hmm.
have like this, you get into it, and then practically, can it be like that? Is it really the best way to do it long term? I know that those are things that are, you know, everybody kind of has to deal with any artistic pursuit. I mean, I went through the same thing when I started storyboarding of like, oh, this is the style, this is how I make art, and then I was like, but I can't make art fast enough like that, so I got to do something different.
Yeah, I've noticed definitely for how long I've known you, using you coming up with different ways to, I guess, be faster
Yeah, that's I kind of
or
feel
be
like
more efficient, or
yeah, both of those things are kind of the goal, I guess, to me. Is like, how can I do this thing faster and more efficiently? Because the process I was taught or learned, I guess, kind of self-taught, but learned at the same time, is kind of outdated. So trying, because initially what I was doing is I was trying to take like the old school comic book process of pencils, inks, colors, and just do it like in a digital format, and that um, is dumb. Like just because you don't have to, like, and really understanding why they had to do things like that is kind of important because a lot of the old school comic stuff and even old school manga stuff, the way they did stuff, they did it because they were limited on what they could do. So continuing to do that when you don't have those limitations is doing nothing but shooting yourself in the foot on what you can produce and
Mhm.
how quickly you can get stuff done. And I don't want to be stuck in that. Like I know for a fact that it's really about kind of getting reps in, like getting as much artwork done as like quickly. I don't want to say as quickly necessarily, but like getting as much artwork as you can get done in the time that you have in life in general is going to make you better. So not getting hung up on like, is this perfect? Is this exactly what I need it to be? Or like figuring out, do I need this amount of detail or do I just want this amount of detail? Like that's
I guess
kind of
that's true. I feel like I do have a more simple style, but like I guess as I was going, I really wanted it to be very detailed, but I felt like this style really works for me at least.
yeah, and I
Uh,
think it serves your story really well too.
so what is your first like comic experience like? Did you just jump into it? Was it a personal project or like a professional or like a collab?
Um, I'm not really sure how to answer that. The first thing I did, like I did a graphic novel called Gray Man, and it started off as just a collaboration with a guy, with a writer who was looking to get into a anthology book, which
Mhm.
I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, yeah, it's like 10 pages. Here's the story. Like, this is what we want to do with it. Are you interested? And I was like, yeah, sure. So as we were working on that for the anthology, he was shopping the script around to different publishers, and one of the publishers picked it up. And they were like, "Oh yeah,
Hmm.
this is cool. We want to make this a full graphic novel. We're in 100 and
Nice.
something pages now." And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, all right." So like a year and a half later, um, I kind of had that down and ready, and that was my first comic experience. Was
Mhm.
just go for it. Now, it wasn't the greatest comic experience ever, because when I finally got the book, my name wasn't on it. They put some other,
Oh.
like they put some other creative team on there, and like
Oh my goodness.
yeah, they didn't really promote it, and it was, hard as hell for me to even get copies of it myself because the publisher just didn't care. So honestly,
Eh,
that kind of put me off of doing comics for about 10 years.
oh, yeah, I don't blame you there. That's ridiculous.
So that's part of the reason why I moved into to doing storyboards because that was not a good experience. It put me off wanting to do stuff like that.
Oh,
Uh, and like I started learning more and more that comics were considered a passion thing as opposed to like something you're gonna make decent money off of.
oh yeah, definitely. It definitely is like when you go into comics, it's like definitely you got to think of it as its passion.
Well, and if you're an independent publisher or if you're an independent creator, kind of like what you're doing, or what we're both doing at this point, that's fine. But this is talking about people who were working for Marvel and DC were
Oh
having to
yeah.
treat stuff like this is a passion project because they weren't getting paid by these giant fucking companies for
Mhm.
stuff that, now is worth billions and billions of dollars. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that in itself was also really off putting. Like learning that people I grew up reading were having
Underpaid
to
and everything.
work multiple jobs outside of working for these giant like comic book companies because the comic book companies didn't pay them enough to live.
Yeah.
So, once I kind of learned all that stuff, I was like, I really do love comics,
Mhm.
but I also don't want to be poor all my life.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then but the opportunities now are so much different. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely. Compared
so
to back then and
yeah, so
the
you don't
access to everything and
yeah, so like we've got webtoons, and you've got all kinds of like places that'll let you show off your stuff. I mean, just social media alone is a pretty big boost to being able to promote yourself. Because like back in the day, if you hold on, I'll be right back.
all right. Mhm. Yeah, so I think we're pretty lucky now with how everything is being able to post webcomics on a public platform and which for those who are just joining, that's what I'm working on. I'm working on webcomics right now. And the person I'm talking to is Andy Gray Art, and he is live as well on Twitch. So feel free to check him out.
Okay,
Welcome back.
thanks. Doctor's office
I
just
gave
like,
you a bit of a promotion while you were gone.
oh, well, that's good. I haven't gotten a promotion forever. I definitely can use that.
I promote you all the time, dude.
Oh, like that. Yeah. Thanks.
Just telling everyone to go check you out and everything. Never mind. Don't
Yay!
don't bother with him.
Well, now we're back to
I
reality.
drew this on the wrong layer. Oh my gosh.
Ha ha! Don't check him out. Watch me fuck this layer. Uh, but yeah, that was my experience with comics.
Oh yeah. So sorry. Your call. The doctors.
Oh
Everything
yeah,
okay?
yeah. Oh yeah. Just they were like, oh, we want to confirm your appointment that you confirmed like earlier today. Okay, cool. Thanks, automated system.
At least they're communicative about it and make sure they're confirming. They didn't confirm anything. Remember when I told you about that whole doctor's experience? I had to take my mom, and
Oh yeah.
we didn't confirm anything with us about changing, the schedule and everything. And that was just a ridiculous day at the office, at the hospital.
Yeah, that sounds a special kind of dumb.
So, like, do you ever see those TikToks where it's just like doctors are just or nurses are just doing their TikToks and stuff like that, and it's like they're doing that instead of it's like a whole joke now where people are nurses on TikToks and then like someone's in the waiting room just sitting there waiting for a doctor to check up on them.
I have not seen any of that, but that's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
it's basically a whole trend where like nurses are dancing and then like a guy's literally having a code blue and people waiting in the office and wondering why it's taking so long is because nurses and doctors are dancing in the office like which I don't want to not every doctor I'm sure is like that, but it just does not look good on a to post your stuff on TikTok as a doctor, doing that
Oh
in
no,
the
no,
office.
no, that looks fine. That looks great. Like,
Because
at
they
least,
all look like they're in the doctor's like office or like hallways or like in the facility itself doing these TikTok things. And I'm like, unless this is lunch, they better not be doing this while they got patients waiting.
oh yeah, I mean, of course that they're doing it on their break or like in between stuff. Like, that's just like all the people who do like who are like wait staff who do
Hmm.
TikToks and kitchen staff who do TikToks and stuff. Like they're not making people wait on them. Like they get fired. They get fired real fast. No, don't.
You'll be surprised what when it gets slow and people are just doing dumb things.
Well, yeah, when it's slow, but like
Yeah,
that's yeah, no, no, no. Don't buy into people complaining about medical staff and doctors, you know,
yeah.
doing that stuff. Anybody who's on that train is just full of
I'm not
shit.
saying yeah, I'm not saying that like doctors do this in general. I'm saying the doctors who are on TikTok, instead of basically worried about TikTok instead of their job or something like that. You know what I mean? Making it look bad for the doctors.
Come on, no, they're good. They're good. Don't worry about
I think I have a special place for doctors.
that. I do too. I mean, I have a special place for most people like that, but like, come on, you and I both know that most jobs do not pay you enough to
I mean, yeah, you're right.
stick around. Like, so yeah, no, you if your doctor is in their office and they're having a good time on TikTok, like let them have their good time on TikTok because they probably just had to deal with like 4 or 5 idiots who tried to put gerbils up their ass or something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, just give it to them. Like they work with the public. Anybody who works with the public who wants to dick off for like 20 or 30 minutes, go for it. Fucking do it. Like because if you have to deal with the public, you've earned it.
I guess that's true.
Make me wait 5 minutes so that you don't have like an emotional breakdown. I'm cool with that. Take your time.
While I'm having the emotional breakdown in the office, though,
It's all
I
good.
don't know. I guess it's just like after that day at the office, doctor's office, where they literally made me wait my mom wait for 3 hours, and we emphasize that my mom needs to go to work consistently. Like we need to get to work. And
Yeah,
then,
no,
like at one point, they promised, "Oh, we'll get you in first." Oh, and then they took more people in, right? And they're like, "Oh, do you just want a doctor's note? We're already here. You're a good bit of drives away. You're really going to waste 3 hours of our morning just for us to come here and not get our appointment." I don't know. That just made me livid. I know I'm
uh,
being very. I know it's like experiencing this one moment, I guess, of like just
no,
complete,
no, that kind of treatment is definitely worthy of being livid about. I think at that point you just need to find a new doctor because
yeah.
that office is. It sounds like it's trash.
Yeah, my sister says when she takes my mom there too, they're just terrible, and I'm just like, why is my mom going here?
Yeah, yeah, you just need to recommend a like get your mom a new doctor
Yeah,
because
that's the whole doctor's talk.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it's important though. Like your health and your family's health is worth putting the time and the effort into, especially in the broken ass system we're in. Like
mm,
you need every advantage you can get, and having a doctor that you like and get along with, and an office that treats you well is important. not even look to see if my stream is running. Okay, yeah, we're good.
Just been like by yourself.
Yeah, so I mean, like when I was doing like podcasts and stuff, talking to people about the work I did on the anthology
Hmm.
that's coming out, and like I had to reiterate that I'm used to spending just all day by myself in my room, like drawing stuff. So I'm not used to wondering if anything's going on outside of that. Like if someone needs me from work, they call me or they send me an email. So it's like I don't have to watch a chat log or any of that stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just take my semi ADHD brain and
Mhm.
just focus on the thing I'm doing. I'ma draw things.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Soren says you need to find someone else. There are. This is going back to the doctor's topic. There are some really good female doctors out there that'll understand the struggle women go through and will take good care of your mom. Yeah, I do need to do that. I feel like my doctor's good. It's just the receptionist and the people around. I don't know. It's like I don't know what you're doing. I think it was just the receptionist. That receptionist, I wanted to jump that window. Like she was being ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like I'm
receptionists.
okay. So it's just definitely like I'm not hating on all doctors. I'm hating on certain ones that or like workers that don't want to do their job, and we're here to get the service and we're not getting it. That's my big ordeal. And that receptionist, I don't know what she was doing, but you don't make promises just to come back and, turn it around consistently. Like throughout the 3 hours, oh, we'll put you in first. Oh, you want to go ahead and do this real quick? Oh, do you just want to get a note? Oh, like it was like, dude, you have literally we've been here for like 3 hours waiting on you. Do you not understand? So,
Yeah. At that
but
point,
yeah,
like you just need to find a
that's
new
a
office because it sounds like they've got
yeah.
even if your doctor's good, they've got poor office management, and that is going to screw you over on billing and on getting prescriptions and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so Soren says, "Remember, guys, there is always a doctor out there who graduated at the bottom of their class. Same with nurses and reps.
Spill it, spill. Like, oh man, I didn't know that we were on the interstate and somebody just ran a truck of tea over. Uh, but she just spilled all of it. Get him, get him. All right, I don't have to do all this. I'm a dum dum. I'm a dum dum.
Doing more behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, read my webcomic, guys.
Reader,
Subscribe and like and all that good stuff.
do it.
I feel like I don't push that enough.
You 100% do not. Once I have something to push, I'll push it. Don't make no mistake. I will toot my own proverbial horn. What the hell happened here? I mean, I'm the one who made those lines, but I don't know why.
Says the person who starts with color first.
Now look
Then
here.
line.
Look here, you. I don't. I didn't sign up for a trip to the library. I don't need you reading my ass. But yes, yeah, pretty much all of my pain that I suffer through for this is my fault because I've decided
Yeah.
to do things in a way that I'm not super comfortable with yet. Still,
I feel like you definitely still are. Would you say you're kind of finding your ground right now with comics?
oh god,
With
yeah.
what you're doing? Because I mean, I know you've done comics before, but I think that's more catering to what they wanted instead of like what your ideal idea is or whatever.
Yeah, so the fact that this is the first, like, this is my first story that's not someone else's story that I'm drawing is definitely playing a part in how I'm doing this. I guess because you're like, yeah, I'm not trying to execute somebody else's vision, like, I'm trying to execute mine.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and, there's always that pressure. Like, it's one, I guess in the professional world, it's one thing if, like, the idea isn't great, but you execute it well, then you can always you kind of always have that fallback feeling of like, well, the idea may not have been great, but I executed it, like I knocked that shit out of the park, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with this, it's like if the if the idea is not good, then you can't be like, well, it's not like it was my idea to begin with, but at least the artwork's cool. Like at least I did this.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean maybe you know there's always the possibility that you're going to get that comment of like, yeah, why don't you just stick to drawing other people's stuff? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you seem good at one of these things, and it's not this.
I gotcha.
But yes,
So like, sorry, were you gonna say something else?
probably nothing important. Go ahead.
I was just thinking about how when I was actually starting my story, I wanted it to be like a certain way, and then I was like, but I'm not very good at writing, so I was like trying to look for a writer, and I was talking to my current editor about it. Like I really want to write this story, blah blah blah. But he really just ended up being an editor instead of my writer, which I mean that kind of works too because he's been my soundboard and so when I go to about how does this idea sound, how does that idea sound, and instead of just getting and I ended up just writing it myself. Like, you know what? This is I went to I kind of want someone to write it for me, but I ended up just jumping into it myself.
Well, I mean, that seems to have worked out pretty damn well for you. So,
Like I had this vision and it's like, but I'm not good at it. But I mean, I did jump into it. It took a lot of, back and forth, um, experimenting, learning.
yeah, I guess that's just kind of, it's just the process. It's never really that easy.
Yeah. So, talking about like the first experience with like comics, mine was like more personal, like I was thinking to myself like more personal stuff that I never wanted to show the world. Like me back then, I wasn't one to show off my art at all because I was very like shy and kind of ashamed and thought it was just really, really bad.
Yeah, I slightly remember having to force you to like give me your sketchbook. Like, let me see it. Don't just hold it in front of me. Let me see it. Show me.
Yeah, because I was just like, no, he's not gonna think it's good. I just want to show him just a little bit.
And I was like, no, no, no. I want all the art. Gimme. For anyone who doesn't know, like I love looking at art. I love looking at other people's art.
Mhm.
Um, I enjoy it because everybody sees things like so differently,
Mhm.
and I like being able to see kind of what other people see in the world. And I feel like, anybody who's doing artwork, you get to see that. Like you get to kind of see the world through their eyes. And it's always really cool.
Really? Because like when I look back on my ugly artwork, it's like, what the hell was I looking at?
But that's
It's
the
like,
thing though. It
because like no, what sucks is like I remember a time where I was like, I thought this was the shit. I thought this. I'm so proud of this. I'm so proud of how this turned out. And then I look back and it's like, are you okay? Something wrong. Like something's wrong with you.
yeah, but everybody goes through that though. Like that is 100% a thing that everyone kind of experiences at some point is the look back and you're like, "Oh, I thought that was good. Damn." Um but what'll also end up happening is you'll start looking at things and you'll see stuff and you'll be like, "Whoa, like I used to do noses like that, or I used to like do this thing. I wonder why I stopped doing that because it actually looked pretty good." Um, so it's kind of a give and take. And I feel like it kind of you can look you can look at your art and you can look at other people's art and you can kind of tell what they're focusing on at a given point, like in that journey. Um, so that's to me that's really interesting because like your art, I could tell, you know that you really enjoyed it, that you enjoyed doing it, and I could tell
Mm,
that. Okay, so I could tell that you were like very aware of how people felt, and that came through in your artwork because you had paid enough attention to like facial expressions and emotions and body language and stuff that you could depict an emotion even if you couldn't like render a face perfectly. You could still depict an emotion in a very easy to understand way.
mm-hmm.
That's a skill. You don't have to be able to draw the perfect body to be able to show somebody being embarrassed, but there are plenty of people who can draw anatomy perfectly who cannot express subtle emotions in their artwork.
Hmm. I definitely feel like drawing to tell a story has always been my thing. Especially since okay, so like I know the what I was talking about earlier wasn't really my first experience. Like it was like in middle school where um this girl I miss her to death. Like we haven't really talked probably for a year or two now. Like I feel like she'll hit me up like very rarely type of thing to catch up and stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess I kind of gave her the same idea. I was like, I really want to make this uh comic in like a manga format type of deal because I was just really into it. And she kind of helped me write it. Like I feel like I had a lot of good ideas, and like she kind of, I feel like she definitely like also kind of what is it? Became my editor for it. Like she was my soundboard for it and everything. And you know, I was more of looking for like I need help in writing this. They just more became my soundboard. And I guess I just didn't realize that I had kind of my own like I guess don't want to say gift in story writing because I don't have a gift in story writing because I'm not good at story writing. So
You're pretty good at it. You're good at storytelling and you're good at ideation, so
I think it's maybe the idea part that I feel like I had back then. Like I had it in me the whole time, basically the whole story idea. So basically, I was like very okay. So the first I feel like comic that I was like, you know what, I want this to actually be a thing. Like it was about it was gonna be like in old England type of stuff. Like have you seen Black Butler and stuff like that?
yeah.
I was so into that like uh England fancy type of thing. Like I was so inspired by like like the Black Butler art style and like society and stuff like that. That I wanted to basically kind of have a web comic or not a web comic, a like a manga like that basically. And it was about I kind of like I guess had the same concept of like Black Butler starts off where he's like an orphan or whatever, but like it's about more of like four kids. Two of them are twins, and then one of them, and then it's more of like kind of a protagonist. Two. Okay, I guess I'm kind of explaining this all confusing. Okay, so four characters. One guy, one girl, a set of twins, and they're all orphans. They're and they are trying to run away from this abusive, stereotypical orphanage because when does an orphanage ever treat you right? You're a very stereotypical thing, and they're trying to run away, and eventually the two groups, like the set of twins, and I guess I could just make them a couple, end up splitting. All four of them lose because they're all friends, and they split, and they end up finding a magician kind of deal because I kind of wanted to add the element of magic in there, like not like regular magic, like spell casting and stuff like that. and it turns out like the two different teachers that they found are actually enemies to each other, and I kind of stopped from there from how everything was gonna go. I don't really remember anything beyond that.
I mean, it sounds fun. I like.
Yeah, and I was gonna have like the twins and like the couple kind of like end up being like rivals now that their teachers were actually enemies, and like I don't know. I kind of guess I get for the Seraph of the End vibes from it. Have you watched that?
It sounds familiar, but I don't
I feel
remember
like
if I
it's more of
watched
like
it or
a
not.
shonen ai, which is I feel like it's like a action boy love. Is what I kind of see it as.
Mm.
But it doesn't like heavily hint on the boy love. So it's okay. So I did not copy from this anime. I promise. I've actually worked on this manga concept before I even saw this anime. So it is kind of like I feel like a little bit of a British theme because of their clothing and a culture or the elements around them, I guess. And they're all orphanages, or they're all orphanages. They're all orphans. They're all orphans, and they live in a vampire society. And these kids are supposed to like kind of donate, or no, okay, it starts off they're orphans. I think vampires take over, and then they're captured, and then they have to donate their bloods to the vampires in order to survive. And then two of the main guys decide to run away, and when they do, one of the guys don't escape, and he actually, but the other kids die or something, and then the other kid escapes, and he ends up in this kind of military thing to fight off vampires, and he finds his friend again who was left behind, and he turned into a vampire. So now it's like a rivalry type ordeal, and that's kind of yeah. So I feel like that concept was very similar to what I was thinking back then, with the whole two different groups, but like they have to be loyal to their groups for their own reasons, and but they're still like emotionally attached to each other, and I think they're trying to save each other from the other groups.
Uh,
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of miscommunications and stuff like that.
sounds
I feel like I
interesting.
explained that terribly. Like I'm never good at explaining things, especially jumped around. Like my ADHD couldn't stay in the middle, if you can tell.
Nah. I think you did. I think you did fine. You did fine.
But yeah, I guess that was my thing back then. Like kind of a British style, two different organizations against each other, a lot of rivalry. I had a big like, you know, I guess rivalry complex. I really like that, you know, idea of a story.
Like the drama.
Yes, the drama.
It's okay. I've met you. I know that you like the drama.
So like I've been trying to watch the more, I guess, overrated animes that everyone's been watching that's just like straight up obviously shonen type of thing, and
Hmm.
mindless beating each other up and all that stuff. It makes like a good background type of thing.
I could see
And it's
that.
like I don't know. I guess doesn't give me a, such much appeal.
Everybody has a thing that they're into. Um,
Yeah,
doesn't
I
have to be
I
the
don't
same
even
for
mind it.
everybody.
I stick with Naruto. I think it's because I've been loyal to that, you know, anime, because I literally grew up with it. Like I know people have grown up like with like they either grew up with like Dragon Ball Z, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, all that stuff. But I One Piece. But I feel like I really grew up with Naruto. And then like seeing him grow up as you grow up is just like so great. Like when he was a teenager or whatever, and you watched him basically be a teenager with you. And it's just like I literally grew up with this character. It is so nice. And now he's an adult, and I'm an adult. He has kids. Thank God I don't have kids. It's just that's the one thing though. he has adorable freaking kids, but it's like, gosh, why does this anime make me want to have kids? But like only like a momentary, like it's only momentarily like I have that desire when I watch the anime, and it's like this is so freaking adorable. But it's not something I'm just gonna copy paste his eye. My struggle is very real right now.
Do you know what it would have done for my confidence if I could copy and paste eyes back in high school? Like, just like, you know what? This isn't working. Yeah, copy paste. Like, I feel like, I may have drank a lot less as a college student if I'd been able to do
If you had the ability to copy and paste an eye.
that. Yeah.
You know what's really upsetting to learn that your face apparently isn't symmetrical.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, gosh, so everyone's just ugly.
Well, everybody's unique, I
But apparently, I
guess.
think apparently a perfect face is just actually scarier than having like not an unsymmetrical face.
Well, my understanding of the evolutionary biology behind that is like, yes, you want a certain amount of symmetry, um,
Hmm.
but there does come a point when people can hit like the uncanny valley, of like, symmetry is one thing, but whatever the hell you've got going on is just terrifying. Uh, but I don't think that happens very often. Like, unless you get into like plastic surgery realm, which I think
Yeah.
causes a kind of a different issue with your brain.
This song, oh my gosh. Oh, this song is so it hits home so hard. Like it's from I know you're not listening to my music, but it's from Parasite. I'm pretty sure it's from Parasite. It was like when things were getting very emotional, and I think I was just like, oh, that music was just like, I don't know, it just hit hard. So I got sad instantly when this song came on. I was just like, oh my gosh, why is this song making me so sad? What is it from? Have you watched Parasite?
Oh yeah, I haven't watched. I don't think did they have an anime for the original? All I've seen is the Maxim.
Oh no no no. Well, are you watching the which Parasite are you talking about? I know there's like several Parasite titles.
Parasite the Maxim is the one that I saw, which I
Yeah,
know
that's
was,
the one.
yeah. So that's like, I know that it's an update from an older manga, but I don't know if they did an anime
Let me
before the
look.
new one or not.
What?
Because they had to actually change some stuff, like in the new anime. From They had to change Migi from like reading a bunch of books to being on the internet and like random stuff like that.
You know what cracks me up about Migi? His name literally means right.
Yep.
It's just like very creative name. In like we see it as that's an adorable name, and then like in reality, the Japanese be like it literally means freaking right. Like
Hey,
it's kind of
if
like
it ain't
it's
broke,
kind of like
don't
the
fix
opposite. Yeah, it's kind of like the opposite effect where it's just like, so the evolutions in Pokemon are named like showers, thunders, and whatever. And to the Japanese, that's cool because it's like it's an English name, it's foreign, it's different. But like to us, it's like it's showers and thunders, and I forgot Flareon's name. Uh,
I will
looking it up
never
right now.
forget in the Pokemon. Uh, was it the Pokemon anime where they Ash ran into
Thunder's
some Charmander
Taki.
named Zippo or some shit?
Zippo. What Pokemon is that?
I could have sworn that he ran into a character named Zippo. He ran into a Charmander that somebody had named Zippo in the anime.
Oh, it's a nickname. Okay, that's different from
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's
yeah.
like, you people out here are like talking about these 10-year-old kids. Like, oh, what's your Pokemon's name? Zippo. Like, oh, that's coughing. What's his nickname? Meth. Like, what the hell?
I never nickname my Pokemon. That's so weird. Like, I never nickname my Pokemon. I don't think the only time I nicknamed my Pokemon low-key was just straight up like, I'm curious what their Japanese names are. So it wasn't really nicknaming them. I just gave them the Japanese names. Because that's me still intently trying to learn Japanese. But like, there's some Pokemon that they just straight up borrow. Okay, so Flareon is Booster. Like, that's not creative. Like, it's well, to the Japanese, borrowing the word seems cooler. Like Thunder's Blackie, Booster, Showers, Glacia, Leafia,
Thunder's
Eevee,
Blackie?
Nymphia.
What?
Blackie is Umbreon. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Blackie's. I'm like, this is terrible. Like, this is a terrible. You can tell like they borrow. These are obviously borrowed from the English, alphabet or the
Yes.
English vocabulary. Because like I know some Pokemon are like borrowed English words or whatever, while like some are actually like Japanese like combination words, like kind of like in English like Bulbasaur, bulb and dinosaur.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, at least they didn't call him like Leaf Lizard.
Yeah, but I feel like Japanese kind of their version of like they think something's cooler by borrowing an English word or something. Like how like action type animes they'll have like a move but they'll say it in English.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like because it sounds cooler in English, but to us it's just like you just say it in Japanese because it sounds cooler in Japanese. It's kind of like okay, so in my webcomic it's kind of like a pun on that. So I have like 4 different schools going on. I can't really spoil. I think I did kind of go over the school. I went. So there's 4 different schools, and there's like omnivores, herbivores, um, carnivores, and like all like, and then like everybody basically. And those are the 4 different types of schools. And Niku High School literally just means meat. That's literally all it means. And Yasai means vegetables, and Zatsu means like I think it just means either or something like that, or miscellaneous. That's what it means. Zatsu means miscellaneous. So it's kind of a play on words, like how in Japanese would be like, "Wow, this is such a dumb name," but to like, us Americans, English speakers, it's like that sounds pretty cool. We don't know what it means, but it's different. It's different. It's like different. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's kind of making that fun of that concept in a way, because like even though my comic is kind of drama, romance, I did kind of throw elemental stuff, like kind of a bit of a parody aspect of it too. So that's kind
Yeah.
of what that part of it is. Low key making.
Cinny attacks another culture.
I'm not trying to attack a culture. I guess I did technically attack the Japanese and the English, like, and Americans or whatever.
I mean,
But
yeah, let's keep it
that's just
fair, I
the
guess.
reality. That is just the reality of it, though. Like, just when it's different, it sounds cool. But in a native, it's just like, why is it named that? Like a Pokemon named Showers. Like, would you name a Pokemon Showers? Like,
I mean, I guess it depends on how drunk you are when you're playing the game. Or if you're like 12. Like, because there used to be some crazy Pokemon names when we would trade Pokemon back in the day.
mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh yeah, like when people were like naming things
yeah.
the way I'm like, that's why I never nickname my Pokemon. I'm like, I'm never nicknaming my Pokemon. It's a completely wrong color.
It's
God.
like it's like finding out somebody's email address like way back in the day when everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be really cool," and like you have to tell somebody your email address, and you're like, maybe this wasn't a good idea.
Yeah. So Mother's Day is coming up. You got anything planned for Mother's Day? Or does anyone have any plans? What are you guys doing? What's everyone doing for Mother's Day?
I'm still waiting on mine to get vaccinated so we can hang out.
Mom, get vaccinated and I'll come see you. Okay?
Yeah, look, that's just the
I know.
reality of having
I mean,
somebody
it is.
in your household that's like immunocompromised. It's like
Yeah.
I'd love to
You're
go see
right.
more people, but until people,
Is she not
until
vaccinated yet?
no, I don't think so. You mean my mom?
Yeah.
No, yeah, no, she's not vaccinated yet. It's taking time to roll out to the places that are further away from the city centers and stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I'll probably just like call and talk to her for a while.
Yeah.
We sent her some stuff, like like we mailed it, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of it for now.
Yeah. It's kind of sad that I'll have to work Mother's Day all day because it's like for our restaurant it is mandatory. Because it's just so busy. It's the busiest day, Mother's Day
Yeah.
for us. So, yeah, I'll be there all day. I'm usually used to like 2 doubles back to back. Now it's going to be 3 doubles back to back. And it's just like I'm going to be murdered by the end of the week. And just, yeah, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm already dreading it.
Well, that's not fun.
Yeah. And knowing my mom, the only thing she'll probably want is to help with bills, which I've already been doing anyway. So, because the payment here is like so expensive, but I mean it's a nice house, so it's worth it. One day I'll move into a nice mansion.
Maybe it's just the
Unnecessary space.
yeah, maybe it's just like the utilitarian in me, but the idea of living in a mansion just seems
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
like I don't I don't want to have to clean all that. Like
You're right. You're definitely right about that.
I
Um,
don't want.
and then managing it, and yeah, that it is a lot of work. I just kind of like that unnecessary space idea, even though I don't need it.
Yeah, hard pass on all that. That's I don't want to give myself more work to do.
Yeah. But
But
if you're rich, you just hire a maid and just be like, okay, there you go. Like,
yeah, but then I have to interact with people more on a
no, you
regular.
don't.
How do you
You don't
not
got to
get
talk
to?
to them. They
Yeah,
do their
no,
job and leave.
I can't be that kind of person. Like, you gotta be chill about stuff. Like,
Yeah. Well, I'm a social person anyway, so
no,
I
I'm
probably
not.
let the maid chill with me, be my only friend in the future when I'm like rich and alone. Goals. That is not the goal, though. I don't want to be rich and lonely.
What's one of your goals in life? To be rich and alone. There's probably a time in my life where I would have been really excited by that. Like, I'm rich and I don't have to talk to other people.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
But I really want to be rich and just give back. Sounds cheesy, but it's the goal. I want my mom to, I guess, just kind of live a comfortable life.
Admirable.
And like, I don't know, she works hard for me, so I want to be able to return the favor. But yeah, everyone's working for something.
Everybody's working for the weekend. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Hope I like make lots of money this weekend though.
Yeah, I mean, I figure if people are going to be out, then they
Yeah.
should be paying up. Is it weird for Nightfish people to have purple lips? I think it's
Purple what?
purple lips.
Lips.
Yeah.
No, not really. Oh, you're drawing an alien. I was gonna be like, people put on purple lipstick all the time.
Hey, who's to say that they don't? I don't know. Maybe that's part of the culture thing. Like, everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you guys have purple lips? That's wild." And they're like, "Yeah, we paint them that way on purpose."
Definitely world building just by putting purple lips on him.
On fish. Put purple lips on the fish,
What
man.
what is the culture behind this? You know, there's a whole, thing you can basically explain.
Yeah, puffer fish. Like they just get real wasted on puffer fish, and it turns their lips blue. No, they're not dolphins. I'm just kidding.
Wait, so are these fish people that you're drawing?
Yeah, this is one of them. They look kind of fishy to you.
It looks pretty fishy. It looks more like an alien, I guess, to me.
Well, I mean, it's these people, so they can look
He
alien.
pulls off he pulls off like alien, and then the people to the left more pull off like water people.
Yeah, well, once I give him his fish ears, like he'll.
Oh, okay. That's what we're missing.
Yeah, but that comes last. You got to build it layered. That's another fun part
So
of
you
this.
so you color line a little bit, color line like how do you do that? Oh my gosh, just
What do you mean? The only thing I line is like the face because it seems like I'm incapable of just putting colors down, so I still have to do that.
mhm.
That's just kind of like my deficiency in this style at this point. um,
Okay, more spoiler stuff.
I don't remember how these look now. Let's try this. I almost forgot what I was doing.
Is this like two different colors that I colored? Oh my goodness.
Did you mess yourself up?
Having to fix this real quick. There we go. Made some mistakes. Had to go fix that.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just kind of a random thought where it's like there's some people I didn't know, read my comics. I guess. I guess I forgot she follows my social media, but she used to tutor for me back in college when I was like uh I was struggling with coding. That's what I was struggling with. That's why I needed a tutor because it didn't make any sense. You have to be very precise down to the literal like code or like this is a whole nother livid conversation. Like it makes no sense. Coding is I applaud those who can understand the language of coding because if you were not down precisely to the spacing, the you know, literally to the spacing and I don't know. It's ridiculous. Okay. But I needed help with that, and so I had a tutor for it. Because I was in a program that allowed me to be like, hey, you can get a free tutoring session on a topic that you don't, or a class that you don't understand, or whatever, because I'm part of that program. I think it was like one of those like first gen programs or whatever. If you were like first generation college, and it's like a very helpful program. Um, and then they sometimes have opportunities to help pay off for college a little bit too.
Nice.
And then like I guess this one day she just mentioned my comment. I was like, "Oh, you read my comic? Huh?" That's like I was not close to her on that level. I was just like, "Oh, that's sweet, man. You read my comic. I guess I'm doing a good job at putting it out there because I didn't ever talk to her about it." But I guess I forgot she followed me. But I'm also like friends with her brother too, so maybe that has something to do with it. And I'm also good friends with her boyfriend, so maybe that has something to do with it too. Small world. But I know I haven't really talked to her that much, except for like during the tutor sessions, which was just my frustration over coding.
Well, I'm glad you got somebody, somebody else seeing what you're doing.
Yeah. It's just kind of nice when like, especially on like different platforms, where like, yeah, I've actually been reading you and stuff. I can't believe I found you here, and I'm just like, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so I'm on to the next page. I'm on page 22 now. I've done 2 panels so far since we started. How many panels have you done?
Go to hell. I mean, sorry. Wait, what? What happened? I blacked out.
Unnecessary, unnecessary salts thrown my way.
I was just minding my own business, and then out of nowhere, you fucking attacked me. I'm over here just being a good little scrub, just making the colors on my fish man's ears, and just out of nowhere, you're just like, oh yeah. You see the size? You see the size I've got here? Yeah. What are you packing over there, bicep wise? And I'm like, stop flexing on me. I'm in the water.
I'm not flexing, Mr. Salty. How many panels have you done so far since we started?
Uh, I'm on my third one. That's not even like finished.
Hey, you're on your third panel since we started. That's really good.
Yeah, no. See, you
So
finished
why are
three
you
panels.
mad?
I have started 3 panels. I still haven't put a background on here. I've got shading to do.
Okay, so like you sketched out 3 panels.
Yeah,
Like,
basically. Yeah, like I've got like the character, the main character work done for like 2.5 panels.
that's not a bad. So you have 3 sketched, 2 basically colored. It's not
Well, I mean,
so bad.
I've got the whole page sketched out,
Hmm.
but I've only got yeah, I've only got the main stuff done for like 3 panels on this page. But I'll take it. I mean, it's not. I'm not working at any kind of glorious speed here, but I'm getting faster at this. Like now that I'm not trying to do all of it at one time like I did when I started, I can move a bit faster. It also helps though that I'm not doing like when I was trying to do it in the webtoons format at first, I was doing like full page spreads for everything and just unnecessarily eating up more of my time than I needed
Mm-hmm.
to.
How many spreadsheets do you have for your characters then? Like I guess how much more prep work did you do?
Um, so like, let's see. Come on, hand, you can do it. You can make the line. You're not that messed up. So I've got some of the characters are far more developed than they need to be, and some of them are a bit less developed. Like I started off like with character designs, and then I was like, because I had kind of a basic story in mind, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, well I need some cool characters to make this work. Otherwise, like it's not going to be fun to do, and no one's going to care.
Yeah.
But I
Oh, thank you.
did.
We're Matt05 for the follow. How are you
Look at
doing?
you.
So sorry, what were you saying?
I'm trying to find these guys. So like,
Hello, hello.
yeah. So this is what I've got for these characters. Like this was my
Oh, that's really nice. Oh my gosh. So we're looking at character concepts over at Andy Gray's art. He's live too.
yeah, like the whole
Yes, I can
my
feel that. I'm tired too.
yeah, my whole concept like with these was I wanted them to be water based, so I wanted to have like a cool water effect I could use.
That is so detailed. It's gonna take you forever to. I mean, you draw really fast, so.
Well, and that's why, like I said, I've had to kind of rethink how I work. Like this is more of like a paint it concept art type style. Like it's nowhere near as clean as it looks. Like
Mhm.
far away, it looks like it's a lot, but like when you get close up, you're like, oh, like it's literally just like quick lines with some blending and stuff. Like
Mhm.
yeah. So and this, honestly, this water effect is God. Here, let me show you. Like you here. Let's see. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh real hard. So I have a filter, a bevel and emboss filter for this. That's a that's like its own setup. Let me see if I can remember. I gotta remember where the style is. Um, up here, yeah, here. So like I made, I found some tutorials and stuff, and like went and looked through it. And so like this is a bevel and emboss filter with like a certain color.
Mhm.
Let's see. Yeah, so like this is my water effect. You ready? I'll show you on this because I've already got the blue stuff here. So like yeah, so these blue areas here are where the water like comes out at. Like that's actual water that they keep on them
Oh,
because
okay. It's like they're water bending,
yeah, they kind of are.
like to keep water on you and stuff.
Yeah, that's part of their deal. Which layers? Here we go. Yeah, all right. So we go here. We put our bevel in the both filter on that I made for water effects, and now because I wanted it to kind of be like these were the places that they could like put they draw their water from, so they're going to be able to put like water kind of like water armor on, I
Mhm.
guess. Um, but yeah, so these are like this is my water effect, effectively like brush. um, so yeah, the water stuff isn't going to be anywhere near as labor intensive as you might think. like 'cause you can
Yeah, dude, you're just like water bending this like. Well, yeah, that's a pretty good shortcut though. Like, it's just like you literally just water bended that page. Oh
yeah
my gosh, that's pretty cool. So that's pretty bad. Like in a good way, like that's badass.
So yeah, so now that you know that trick, like that's kind of what this is going to be. Like they're going to be able to manipulate water and use it for things, and
You
it'll be
mean you
fun.
manipulating a brush?
Yep, yep.
So,
That's
where Matt says, I just went through the titles really fast for the chapters names and read two together as mom and dad keeping more lies.
that's pretty good. That's
Wait, are
pretty
you
good.
talking about, what are we talking about? Were we talking about webcomics here? What are we doing?
All right, and this dude's face looks kind of wonked out, so gotta fix that.
My boyfriend just asked me what my favorite cut of steak was. And then
And
he's like, never mind, it's ribeye. I'm like, yes, you should know this. You should know this. Is he getting me steak or something? Is this what the question's about?
he just sends you a text in like 20 minutes. It's like, yeah, thanks for the recommendation of him eating steak. I would laugh really hard. All right. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I've spent my time learning how to do. It's like, oh, that's a
Mhm.
cool effect. I want to be able to do that like in no time.
I, f- I feel like you added that superpower after you found that effect. You're like, you know what? I can do this. I don't know. I do that too. Like, where it's like, I like this brush. I'm going to make it part of my story. I don't know where and how, but I'm going to fit it in there because I think it's cool.
Yeah, so like I've actually been working on making my own brushes for effects and stuff like that. So
Nice.
well, it's a really useful, I mean, just thing to be able to do, and it's part of the toolbox that we have. So why not take advantage of it?
Yeah. Clip Studio Paint definitely like gives a lot of free brushes away for people who've already made like brushes. I use a good bit of pre-made brushes.
Yeah. I think is can you can import Photoshop brushes into Clip Studio too, can't you?
Maybe you
I think
probably can.
yeah, like it, being able to make your own brushes though, to make your own effects and to make things that help, it really is useful. Like that's how I have a brush that makes this like scale effect for the armor,
Mhm.
so that like it goes real quick when I do it.
I mean, yeah, that whatever to save you time. I do that with bricks and stuff too. So
Yep.
work smarter, not harder. So where Matt says, "How many other webtoon authors do y'all know?" Well, personally, like I mean, I would say Andy, but he hasn't have a webcomic out yet. He's working on his right now. Um, I read a lot of other people, but I don't like know them personally. If that's what you mean.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I might know one other person who does webtoon stuff. But it's
like
not
in person
somebody.
type of deal.
Well, it's not somebody I know really well. It's one of the other people who worked on the anthology project that I just finished.
Oh, okay.
Apparently does webtoon stuff, but I haven't had a chance to like sit down and talk to him for real or pick his brain about any of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would like to. Oh, I'm doing this so backwards. Oh no. Do I have enough Control Z's in the stockpile to get rid of it all? I do.
I am a big fan of what is it, Merriweather. I feel like basically he's the webtoons king at this point because he had so many web comics out. Because he hires a lot of artists, of course. So I admire him more for his like the writing aspect. Because he could manage so many stories and write so many stories, and So, do you know how he started his career? I was listening to a podcast that he was in, and how he started his career is basically how no one ever like. Basically, he did something no one ever wants you to do, and went around a convention, and he's like, "I have an idea for a comic. Can you draw it for me?" That's basically what he did, and he kept going around and around and asking everyone. Um, like he kept asking everyone, "Do you want to like draw this comic for me? Can you draw this comic for me for free?" And no one's like, "No, no one wants to." No one wanted to do it. And finally, when he found this artist, and he ended up making more, and he became a big deal.
Well,
So, well, I think it was like one person who was like, "Yeah, I'll do it," and it was like on like one of the older platforms like DeviantArt or something.
hmm yeah. I mean, I guess it's good he finally found somebody, but man, yeah, that's always kind of hard when somebody's like, "Hey, I've got this great idea. I want you to put months of your life into for absolutely nothing." Like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to pass there, big guy. And I always feel kind of bad about it, but it's like that's a hard one. That's a hard one to. That's a hard sell, I
Yeah.
guess.
So, have you heard of Immortal Weakling? Is what Matt is asking.
I have not.
Yeah, I don't even know the webcomic, so I'll look it up real quick. Mortal. Pretty popular. 353,000 subscribers.
Damn, nice.
Yeah, he's pretty up there. I've seen this. I've seen it like icon wise. Like I've seen it around, not Reddit or anything.
Yeah.
You know how like they advertise the same, pretty popular webtoons over and over, and once you keep looking around, you kind of notice they advertise the
Yeah.
same titles or whatever. So okay, so in a world filled with superheroes, can a person who is immortal, but only has the strength of a normal human become one of the best? Who knows? But Ty is dead, set on trying. Sounds like My Hero Academia.
I like it. I like the idea.
Yeah.
Anytime someone hits a concept that's unique like that, it's always fun. Like,
Yeah.
in a world of vampires, can this lone hot dog salesman make his way? Like,
Well, comic idea right there.
yeah, that one's
You
free.
should
Anybody that wants that one, go for it.
you should use it.
I mean, that's kind of the reason, like that, something like that. That's kind of like how I kind of started on this was like, what if this didn't go like it normally goes in these stories? I just think that's kind of a fun way to tackle something.
So, not surprising because it came in a webtoon original that just stopped abruptly. Oh, really? Did they like give a type of warning, or are they just on hiatus? Like, 'cause usually if you're an original, I feel like they would be like, hey, we need to at least let our audience know what's going on. They're pretty good about that, so that way they don't lose, their subscribers and stuff. I was looking into, how we were talking about like managing so many characters or whatever.
Yeah.
I was just scrolling around some web comics or whatever, and some of these people who have like literally 300 to 400 like chapters of stuff. It's like, you guys able to like keep up with all this? Like, I mean, I have my way of keeping up with it, I guess, but at the same time, I forget like, hey, did this happen yet? Hey, I gotta make sure I don't like ruin the plot holes or give myself plot holes or whatever. Like it's gotta make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I feel like I
Cause
have
like,
some intentional plot holes that I'm like,
hmm
yeah, we'll figure that out.
um, so in my webcomic, I kind of am a little bit into like the mystery aspect. So there is like kind of a bit of a mysterious past in these characters that kind of connect them. It's not much, I guess, it's not much of spoiler saying it here. So God of High School and the Tower of God, yeah, those are definitely the ones with like a lot of episodes.
Both really fun to read too. All right. Well, I am over my time, so I gotta go.
All right.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.